There is a grass growing in China right now that is stronger than steel, not stronger than some steel, stronger than most steel. Pound for pound, it handles being pulled and stretched better than a structural steel beam. It grows back in under 10 years without being replanted. And Chinese engineers are using it to build 7-story buildings and bridges that carry fully loaded trucks. The engineering world spent 100 years laughing at this plant. They called it the poor man's timber. They said it was good enough for huts, but never for real cities. Here is what changed. Chinese researchers figured out that the problem was never the plant. The problem was how everyone was using it. The moment they stopped treating it like wood and started treating it like raw material, like flour for bread, everything changed. What came out of that process is called bamboo scrimber, and it has compressive strength over 160 megapascals, bending strength past 300. For context, structural concrete sits around 40 megapascals. This grass is performing at more than 4 times the strength of the material holding up most of the buildings in your city, and it grows back before a child finishes school. China is not running a small experiment here. In 2022, China launched a global initiative called Bamboo as a substitute for plastic. In 2023, it launched a national 3-year plan to replace steel and concrete with bamboo across the country. China holds 1/5 of the entire world's bamboo supply and has built an entire industrial chain to process it. The bamboo industry has a target of 1 trillion yuan by 2035. That is not a science project. That is a replacement plan for the materials that built the modern world. To understand why this matters, you need to understand what is wrong with the materials we use right now. Every building you walk into, every bridge you drive over, every road you travel on was built with steel and concrete. Together, they are responsible for more than 15% of all the carbon dioxide humans release into the atmosphere every single year. 15%. That is more than the entire global aviation industry. More than every ship on every ocean, more than every truck on every highway, just steel and concrete, and the demand is not slowing down. 2 billion people are expected to move into cities in the next 30 years. Cities that need buildings, roads, bridges, and infrastructure at a pace the world has never seen before. Every one of those buildings built with steel and concrete adds to a problem that is already pushing the planet toward a point of no return. Wood was supposed to be the alternative. It stores carbon instead of releasing it. It grows back. It does not require a blast furnace, but wood has one fatal weakness. A tree strong enough for serious construction takes between 25 and 75 years to grow. Think about that. A tree planted today will not be ready to use until your grandchildren are adults. The world cannot wait that long. The cities being built in Asia and Africa and South America right now cannot wait that long. For decades, engineers faced what felt like an impossible choice. The fast materials are destroying the planet. The green material is too slow. There was no third option until China looked at a plant that had been dismissed for a century and asked a completely different question. Bamboo is the fastest growing plant on Earth. Some species grow more than 1 meter in a single day, not in a week, in a day. If you sat beside it and watched closely enough, you could see it moving. While a tree takes decades to reach full strength, bamboo gets there in 6 to 9 years. And because it is a grass, not a tree, cutting it down does not kill it. The roots stay underground. A brand new stalk grows back from the same plant without replanting, without bare hillsides, without waiting years for the land to recover. On paper, bamboo sounds almost too good to be true. So why did engineers spend 100 years ignoring it? The answer is that natural bamboo stalks are almost impossible to use in serious construction. They are hollow. Connecting them to other pieces is a nightmare. They are round. Builders who design with flat, square beams cannot use round tubes. Their strength is wildly inconsistent. One stalk can be incredibly strong, The next stalk from the same plant can be weak and unreliable. Try to drive a bolt through bamboo and it splits down the middle. Leave it untreated and it rots. Leave it exposed to insects and it disappears. Building codes exist for a reason. An engineer cannot put a material into a hospital or a school without being able to guarantee exactly how it will perform in 10 years, in 30 years, in a freezing winter and a scorching summer. Wild bamboo could never make that guarantee, so the engineering world gave it a nickname that stuck for nearly a century: the poor man's timber, and walked away. Here is the idea that changed everything. What if instead of treating bamboo like wood, engineers treated it like raw material, not slicing it into planks, destroying it completely, then rebuilding it into something better? The process starts by taking a whole bamboo stalk and running it through machines that crush it and tear it apart along its natural grain. The industry calls this fiberizing. What comes out the other side does not look anything like bamboo. It looks like a loose, stringy pile of fibers, like rough straw. And here is the brilliant part: every single weakness bamboo had simply disappears. The hollow center, the round shape, the inconsistent strength, the splitting, all of it gone. Because the original stalk no longer exists. It has been broken down into raw fiber. From there, workers dry the fibers and soak them in resin. Then they line all the fibers up in the same direction and press them. Not a gentle squeeze. These fiber mats get compressed under extreme pressure and heat simultaneously, forcing out almost all the air trapped inside. What comes out of that press is something that makes engineers stop mid-sentence. A dense block of material that can actually be heavier than water, harder than most hardwoods you can buy today, compressive strength over 160 megapascals, bending strength past 300 megapascals, and the process wastes almost nothing. More than 80% of the original bamboo stalk gets used, including the bent, low-quality pieces that would normally be thrown away. A wild, unpredictable grass has been transformed into a uniform, dependable manufactured material that performs like premium engineered hardwood, except it grew back in under 10 years. Now here is the number that stops engineers cold. Enhanced bamboo Scrimber, the most advanced version of this material, has been tested with tensile strength of 854 megapascals and flexural strength of 507 megapascals. For comparison, structural steel typically sits around 250 to 500 megapascals in tensile strength. The best bamboo Scrimber is now matching or exceeding structural steel from a grass, one that regrows in under a decade, without a blast furnace, without iron ore, without the coal that makes steel production one of the dirtiest industrial processes on the planet. The implications of that number are difficult to fully process at first. Steel is the material that holds up skyscrapers, that spans bridges across wide rivers, that carries the load of every heavy vehicle on every highway. The assumption has always been that nothing biological could match it in structural applications. That assumption is now being quietly revised in engineering departments across China. The Ninghai Bamboo Tower, documented in the Journal of Structural Engineering in 2026, is a 7-story building where the columns, the beams, and the floors are all built from prefabricated engineered bamboo. 7 full stories, real loads, real occupants. Structural bamboo doing exactly what structural steel and concrete have been doing for a century. And it was built in China by engineers who spent 20 years quietly improving a material the rest of the world had given up on. The bridge story is the one that genuinely shocks people when they hear it. One engineer who spent decades working between universities in China and the United States built a road bridge in Hunan province using prefabricated engineered bamboo components. A small team assembled it in about 1 week. No heavy construction equipment, No crane, no concrete pour, just prefabricated bamboo pieces fitting together and a truck driving across it at the end. A bridge strong enough to carry a fully loaded vehicle, built from grass, in a week by a small team, without heavy machinery. Think about what that means for the 2 billion people moving into cities in the next 30 years. Many of them are in areas where heavy construction equipment cannot reach, where concrete supply chains are expensive and unreliable, where the materials that built Western cities are simply not available at the price and pace that the speed of urbanization demands. Bamboo grows in exactly those places, tropical and subtropical regions of Asia, Africa, and South America, where the need for infrastructure is most urgent, are also where bamboo grows fastest. The material and the need are in the same place. What has been missing until recently is the industrial process to turn one into the other at scale. China has that industrial chain now, and the numbers behind it are genuinely staggering. China's bamboo forests absorb and store around 300 million tons of carbon every single year just by growing naturally. When bamboo is turned into engineered structural material and used in a building, that carbon stays locked inside the structure for the life of the building. It does not go back into the atmosphere. Compare that to steel and concrete. Every ton of steel produced releases approximately 1.8 tons of carbon dioxide. Every ton of concrete releases approximately 900 kilograms. A building made of bamboo scrimber is not just carbon neutral. It is carbon negative. It is actively removing carbon from the atmosphere and locking it inside its own structure. In 2022, China launched a global initiative with the International Bamboo and Rattan Organization. The initiative has a simple, bold name: Bamboo as a Substitute for Plastic. Chinese leadership backed it publicly and connected it directly to the country's climate goals. The following year, China launched its national 3-year plan to scale up bamboo as a replacement for steel and concrete across the country. Demonstration zones, industrial subsidies, government procurement requirements. The full weight of Chinese industrial policy pointed at a plant. China's bamboo industry target is 700 billion yuan by 2025, 1 trillion yuan by 2035. That is not a science project. That is an industrial strategy at a scale that the rest of the world will start competing with, whether it is ready or not. Here is the honest part that deserves just as much attention as everything else. Bamboo scrimber is held together with resin, usually phenolic resin. That resin is what gives it strength, water resistance, and durability. But it also means the finished beam is not a pure natural material. It is a composite, and composites come with questions. How does it perform in a fire? The science says bamboo chars on the outside and self-insulates, similar to timber, giving occupants meaningful evacuation time. But fire testing at full building scale under every realistic condition is still being completed. How long does it last? The buildings being built with it today are the long-term test. 30 years from now, engineers will know exactly what happens to bamboo scrimber over a building lifetime. Right now, accelerated testing is promising, but the real-world data is still accumulating. What happens to all that resin when a building is eventually torn down? End-of-life handling for composite materials is an active research area without fully settled answers. There is also the manufacturing gap. China built its bamboo industrial chain over several decades, a country with plenty of wild bamboo growing in its forests, but no fiber processing machines, no resin bath facilities, no heavy hydraulic presses, cannot simply decide to start making certified structural bamboo overnight. The places that could benefit most from cheap, fast-growing structural material are often furthest from the equipment needed to make it. None of that erases what the science has proven. It marks the distance between what is possible today and what still needs to be built out across the rest of the world. When researchers recently mapped out companies making structural bamboo products around the world, they found that roughly 2 out of every 3 were based in China. But new companies are appearing in the United States, India, Indonesia, Vietnam, and Singapore. South America, which has its own enormous bamboo species, is beginning to recognize its value as an export crop. The technology China refined is spreading the same way every real industrial technology eventually does. What is pushing this is not idealism. It is simple math. Carbon taxes are real, and getting larger. Environmental regulations are tightening every year. A material that grows back in under 10 years locks carbon inside the building it becomes and does not require a blast furnace to produce is not just good for the planet, it is increasingly cheaper than the alternative when you include the full cost of environmental compliance. No serious construction company can ignore that math for very long. The building code situation is also improving faster than most people expected. Nearly 7,000 studies on engineered bamboo were published in just the 10 years leading up to 2024. Every study adds another piece of solid evidence that inspectors need before they can approve a new material. Bamboo stopped being seen as an interesting curiosity and started becoming something engineers can put on official paperwork. And when a material gets on official paperwork, it gets into real buildings, 7-story buildings, truck-bearing bridges, and eventually into the cities that 2 billion people are moving into right now. Here is the full picture. For 10,000 years, serious construction meant cutting down something that took a lifetime to grow back. Steel and concrete replaced wood but added 15% of all human carbon emissions to the atmosphere every year. Engineers knew this was not sustainable but had no real alternative. Then, China looked at a plant the construction world had dismissed as a material for huts. They stopped trying to use it like wood. They crushed it down to raw fiber and pressed it back together under extreme heat and pressure. What came out was a material with tensile strength matching structural steel, compressive strength more than 4 times concrete, and a bending strength that makes hardwood look ordinary. It grows back in under 10 years without replanting. It locks carbon away instead of releasing it. It is already holding up a 7-story building in China and carrying trucks across bridges in Hunan province. The engineering world laughed at bamboo for 100 years. They called it the poor man's timber. They walked away and built with steel and concrete instead. China kept working on it for 40 years, quietly improving the chemistry, the processing, the testing, the building codes, and the industrial chain. Now bamboo scrimber is showing up in structural engineering journals, in national policy documents, and in buildings that real people walk into every day. And the strangest part of this whole story is that the answer was sitting in plain sight the entire time, growing back in under 10 years, waiting for someone to stop laughing and start pressing. Leave your answer in the comments. If a grass can already match structural steel, what other material that engineers have dismissed for decades might be sitting right in front of us?